Dragon Ball is Akira Toriyama's life, work, and legacy. After having many opportunities to end the series at multiple different points, he always found himself coming back to it. Dr. Slump may have started his career, but even in Japan he is only known today because of Dragon Ball. So I think it's fitting that his final work was Dragon Ball Daima, which in many ways was his final love letter to us and everyone who has loved his work. Through characters, plot, themes, transformations, and more, I believe it is evident that he had passion for this work and Dragon Ball in general, and I will show just what I'm talking about. Hey guys, welcome back to a Dragon Ball video, and today we'll be talking about Akira Toriyama's view on us fans, Dragon Ball Daima, and the series as a whole, and seeing how affectionate it actually is. Make sure to like, subscribe, check out my Twitch and bio, and let's just get right into it. I think the first way that shows that this anime was a love letter was the return to kid sizes for all the characters. Honestly, it should have tipped us off before the series even came out. The series obviously started out with Goku as a kid and the rest of the cast in younger states. Without original Dragon Ball walking, Dragon Ball Z and the rest wouldn't have been able to run. It is the series that first invented the ideas that became so popular in the later installments. In addition to that, it has an obvious connection to GT. From the trailers, we could see that the basic plots are essentially identical. Due to some outside force, the main cast is wished by some new mysterious Dragon Balls to become children again. They now must explore new worlds to collect the Dragon Balls to not only return back to their original states, but also find out mysteries. Sound familiar? They even both have the same type of young girl character. Toriyama gave the basic outlines in GT, and he must have enjoyed the idea, wanted to pursue it more, which is why I believe this anime is so closely connected to it. Another aspect of GT that he clearly liked but did not have any direct influence in creating was Super Saiyan 4. While GT since its creation has been controversial among fans, one of the things that was universally liked among fans was Super Saiyan 4. Dragon Ball has become synonymous with transformations, and Super and the new movies have introduced many. So fans for good reason would expect a new transformation coming from any new Dragon Ball anime, such as Daima. And so, while taking so much other inspiration from GT, Toriyama knew that this would be a perfect chance and opportunity to get Super Saiyan 4 back into the canon, and also get fans extremely excited. He even put his own spin on the transformation to keep part of his original style on it, but also to have a way of separating it from the original. Also, the iconic way of introducing it, alongside an updated version of the Super Saiyan 3 transformation, he clearly knows what fans want, and he delivered. Another way that shows what Toriyama was thinking while making Dragon Ball Daima is through his treatment of Vegeta. Through his way of getting Super Saiyan 4 Goku into the canon, so leave Vegeta in the dust once again, so he took measures to also treat him well in this series. First and most obvious is introduction and canonization of Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. This goes alongside the fact of Goku Super Saiyan 4, of knowing that what sells in and is most popular among Dragon Ball fans is transformations. Aside from transformations, he also got a fair share of screen time. Unlike GT, which was Goku soloing everyone for most of it, Toriyama made sure Vegeta was properly included in his last work. Across the story, he fights with 2 out of the 4 main antagonists, Tamagamis and Goma, and in the 20 episodes, 12 of them he's in half or more of the runtime. This may not seem like a lot given the fact that he's one of the main characters of Dragon Ball, but it is also important to remember context. This anime, as mentioned before, is basically a hybrid of OG Dragon Ball, GT, and a bit of modern Dragon Ball thrown in there too. And 2 of those anime don't have Vegeta doing anything for most, if not all, of the runtime. So I think the fact that Toriyama included him wherever he could, considering the fact that this is supposed to be a mostly Goku anime, I think is telling of his love for the character of Vegeta and his fans. I think the next sign of Toriyama's passion for this project is the, for the most part, smartly done fan service. When Toriyama has done fan service, he usually tries to put a new spin on it and give it some new identity outside of purely nostalgia baiting. I think good examples of this lie within the superhero movie. Most of the plot points in that movie are identical from the previous part of the Dragon Ball timeline, but they all hold their own identity apart from the section of the Dragon Ball timeline they were pulled out of. Cell Max, aside from his name and appearance, is almost nothing like the Cell who we saw in the Cell games. Giant Piccolo returns, and without it they wouldn't have been able to beat Cell Max. Beast becomes Gohan's new transformation, but it was being hinted at throughout Super, and through finishing Cell Max off immediately this time, he shows that he learned from the last time the two fought. Now how does Daima do this? Daima makes good use of almost everything that returns in the series, whether it be a gag or a plot point. For almost every fight until the end of the series, Goku uses his Nyoibo, and the kids' bodies are more properly utilized when fighting. And we see the heroes achieve their main goals by the end of the anime, unlike GT, where Goku just stays a kid indefinitely. Also unlike GT is Super Saiyan 4. As mentioned earlier, Toriyama, when introducing old things, or references, almost always puts a spin on it, and Super Saiyan 4 was no exception. He changed it to a more traditional transformation, being based more on power, rather than being an upgraded version of the Golden Grade 8. On top of that, Toriyama made his own spin on the design. Keep in mind, he could have just kept it the same and fans would have been pretty happy, and if you need evidence, look towards one of the most hyped moments in Daima, adult Goku's first transformation into Super Saiyan 4. Even most non-Dragon Ball fans, when watching that scene, will realize that as a callback to the incredibly iconic Super Saiyan 3 transformation. So seeing that, Toriyama took the extra mile to make the new Super Saiyan 4 special is telling. However, bringing up the Super Saiyan 4 transformation could be a counter-argument to my point, seeing as for the most part, it is a copy-paste similar to some other callbacks to the original series, so it could be just that Toriyama enjoys fan service for the sake of it. While this may play a part in it, I think there is a clear difference between the two, that being plot relevance. Simply put, it is not a big deal plot-wise if certain transformations occur thematically the same as prior transformations. Think of Beast Gohan. On the other hand, whether Goku becomes a Super Saiyan 4 the same way or not changes the plot and writing quite a bit. So Toriyama actively made more work for himself, making Super Saiyan 4 and any other new transformations different from how they were originally. I think the final, most telling piece is the return of gag humor and gags in the plot. The first that comes to mind is the famous Vegeta clip. Yeah, that one. Simply put, having watched the original Dragon Ball and heard bits of Dr. Slump, that comes straight from Toriyama. It was his trademark humor, no doubt about it. Seeing as he had less and less direct involvement in Dragon Ball, and the series has gotten more and more about strictly fighting, it is not surprising to not see this type of humor anymore. But seeing as this project was almost directly from Toriyama himself, you can see his trademark, and his passion to make something more than a series designed to sell toys. The thing that I think was the cherry on top, and what prompted me to make this video, was the ending of Daima. Toriyama's favorite character was Piccolo, and he has stated this multiple times throughout interviews, and I think that at the ending he can easily be interpreted as Toriyama. So what does Piccolo even do in the end? He's given the opportunity to defeat Goma, but fails to do so. Later, when Majin Buu does what he failed to do, he has this to say. Now it might just be me, but this seems to be a bit more than Piccolo talking to himself. Hear me out here, but I think this is Toriyama trying to convey the difficulty and impossibility of being able to not just end Daima, but end Dragon Ball in general. Even when it seems like the perfect chance, it ends up coming back as a problem and work of Toriyama. However, maybe knowing this to be his last major work, Toriyama decided it would be best for Ku to win, as a funny gag. Dragon Ball can never have a true ending as it is now. It is still to this day the most popular anime and moneymaker for all types of media, so there's always going to be a big push for it to return, especially if Toriyama doesn't have anything to say in the matter. So rather than utilizing the fusion bug, which may have been cool, but would have ultimately just made another toy character, he decided to go out of his way and end it the way he thought was most fun. Alongside the third eye ultimately just being an item sold in a regular store, it is clear that this gag ending was what he thought was best. Toriyama started with writing gag manga, so I think it was fitting he ended with it. This also shows that he thought the series could be more than just a standard shonen. In conclusion, Toriyama loved his creation and loved us. He was already at the end of his life, and I'm sure had more money than he knew what to do with. But time and time again, he would come back to creating cool transformations and characters for us. He'd rather return to the series and make something good, like Battle of Gods, than to let it die with something like Dragon Ball Evolution. Thanks for watching this far, I greatly appreciate it. If you enjoy anime content, please support this as it will decide the future of my channel. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Excel, and enjoy the rest of your day.